Brittney Griner was caught on tape during a game with the Indiana Fever, dropping racial slurs against Caitlin Clark.
The WNBA is facing its biggest crisis yet, a storm brewing beneath the dazzling spotlight of Caitlin Clark's meteoric rise. While Clark's incredible rookie season captivates audiences, a shocking allegation involving Brittney Griner threatens to overshadow everything. Griner, a WNBA superstar, allegedly hurled a racist slur at Clark, an incident the league astonishingly refuses to investigate. This silence speaks volumes, raising unsettling questions about power dynamics, institutional bias, and the very integrity of the league itself. The ensuing controversy, fueled by outspoken commentator Stephen A. Smith's scathing critique, unveils a deeper malaise within the WNBA, one that could irrevocably damage its future. The question isn't just about Griner's alleged actions. It's about the league's deafening silence and the potential for a systemic problem far more significant than a single incident. This isn't simply a clash between two players. It's a battle for the soul of the WNBA.
When it comes to Caitlin Clark, now I've taken hits because I was calling it from day one. You got people that are resentful towards her, but it's really not about her, guys. It's about what she represents. Before she ever came along, there were a lot of outstanding basketball players who happened to be black females that was doing their thing on the WNBA level. And they never got this kind of shine. This girl, the Golden Goose, comes along and she wreaks havoc.
The controversy surrounding Brittney Griner's alleged slur isn't just about a single incident. It's a powder keg of long simmering resentment, racial tensions, and a stark power imbalance within the WNBA. Griner's alleged attack on Caitlin Clark exposes deep-seated divisions, revealing a league struggling to reconcile its image of progressive inclusivity with the harsh realities of internal conflict. The unprecedented attention surrounding Clark's rookie season, a phenomenon that has shattered attendance and viewership records, has seemingly created a rift among players. Some veterans, accustomed to a certain level of attention and status, see Clark's rapid ascent as a threat, a disruption to the established order. This resentment, layered with complex racial undertones and fueled by the alleged use of a racial slur, paints a picture of a league grappling with its own success. The ensuing fallout hasn't just exposed cracks in the foundation. It's shattered the facade, leaving the WNBA scrambling to regain control. This isn't just about sports. It's about navigating the treacherous waters of race, resentment, and the complexities of success in a fiercely competitive environment.
Folks, the WNBA already set a precedent. It doesn't matter what Brittney Griner said. It doesn't matter what Brittney Griner said, because they've already shown us they don't need evidence, they don't need substance, they don't need any type of proof at all to launch a bogus investigation into Indiana Fever fans, so they shouldn't need any substance, any basis, any evidence to launch an investigation into any other fan, any other player, any other group. The WNBA set this precedent.
The explosive moment occurred during a heated game between the Indiana Fever and the Atlanta Dream on May 23, 2025. A viral video clip capturing the aftermath of Griner's foul-out shows her sitting on the bench, visibly frustrated, muttering words that lip readers interpret as a vile racial slur directed at Caitlin Clark, followed by what sounds like a homophobic slur. The audio is undeniably unclear, leading to conflicting interpretations and a fierce debate about the accuracy of the lip reading. Some argue that Griner's words were misconstrued, suggesting she may have said something innocuous like whack call instead. However, the video's ambiguity only fuels the fire, sparking a furious debate about sportsmanship, racial tensions, and the boundaries of acceptable behavior in professional sports. The incident's ambiguous nature, coupled with its viral spread, has transformed it into a lightning rod for discussions on race, gender, and the intense rivalries that frequently simmer beneath the surface of competitive sports. The lack of clear audio further complicates the situation, highlighting the challenges of interpreting fleeting moments in the heat of competition and the inherent biases that can shape our interpretations. This wasn't just a game. It was the ignition point for a social and cultural wildfire.
That we were talking about earlier today.
And it doesn't take a lot of genius to lip read Brittney Griner, whose voice, by the way, is about as low as mine is, calling her trash and an effing white girl. Now, of course, if Caitlin Clark had ever suggested the same in reverse, using black as opposed to white in that sentence, that'd be the end of her WNBA career. But Brittney Griner is going strong.
The video's rapid spread across social media platforms, accumulating millions of views in a matter of days, transformed a single on-court incident into a national conversation. The clip became a catalyst for a wider discussion on double standards within the WNBA, with many drawing parallels to Griner's controversial 2022 prisoner exchange with Russia, involving notorious arms dealer Victor Bout. The sheer volume of views and the intensity of the ensuing debate highlighted how quickly a single moment can escalate into a major controversy, exposing deep-seated tensions surrounding gender, race, and fairness in professional women's sports. The discussion transcended the sports world, drawing commentary from political figures, sports analysts, and everyday fans alike. This wasn't just a viral moment. It was a societal mirror reflecting back the complexities of race relations and the often uncomfortable truths of institutional biases. The speed and intensity of the response demonstrated the power of social media in shaping public opinion and amplifying previously marginalized voices. This incident wasn't contained within the lines of the court. It spilled over into the broader cultural landscape.
Clearly, she's not remembering who they let out to get her back.
The controversy surrounding Griner's alleged slur is further inflamed by the context of Caitlin Clark's remarkable rookie season and the treatment she's received. Many observers note a pattern of unusually aggressive play and targeted intimidation tactics directed at Clark throughout her first year in the WNBA. Griner's alleged verbal assault seems to represent a shift from physical intimidation to a more insidious form of harassment, with alleged racially charged undertones. This escalation adds another layer of complexity to the situation and underscores the simmering tensions between veteran and rookie players. ESPN commentator Stephen A. Smith's criticism of Griner, particularly his focus on her post-detention comments about increased fan attendance and noise, adds significant fuel to the fire. Smith's criticism, framed within the larger context of perceived ingratitude following Griner's high-profile release from Russian detention, highlights a deeper tension within the league, a struggle to reconcile the celebration of newfound success with underlying resentments and anxieties. This wasn't just about a single incident. It was the culmination of a year's worth of simmering discontent and a clash of personalities and perspectives. The stage was set, the players were ready, and the drama was about to explode.
The merchant of death, an arms dealer that wanted to kill American citizens, according to the reports. That's who they let out for her. You would think that you would be smiling, you would be ecstatic, you would be happy, and something like this wouldn't faze you at all. The fact that it does is disturbing. I'll leave it at that.
Stephen A. Smith's pointed critique of Brittney Griner, aired during a podcast appearance, didn't shy away from the sensitive issue of Griner's Russian imprisonment. Smith's perspective, emphasizing Griner's fortunate release and subsequent complaints about the increased attention surrounding the WNBA, resonated with many fans. He argued that Griner's supposed ingratitude, considering her ordeal in Russian detention and subsequent release, facilitated by a prisoner exchange with notorious arms dealer Victor Bout, was unacceptable. This wasn't merely a criticism of Griner's alleged behavior towards Clark. It was a broader indictment of what Smith perceived as a lack of appreciation for the positive changes in the WNBA brought about by Clark's meteoric rise. Smith's comments sparked a firestorm, highlighting not only the specific incident involving Griner and Clark, but also the broader issues of athlete conduct, entitlement, and the complicated dynamics between veteran and rookie players in professional sports. His words weren't just commentary. They were a catalyst, igniting a debate that revealed deep-seated tensions and uncomfortable truths within the WNBA. The situation was far from over. The storm was only just beginning to rage.
Okay, we're not gonna sit here and act like Brittney Griner was not in a Russian jail a couple of years ago. You know what I'm saying? So maybe she's still trying to adjust to regular stuff. But for you to be confused why fans are showing up to a basketball game and not to do their taxes or their homework, it's hard. It's hard for me to understand it.
Stephen A. Smith's response to the Griner-Clark controversy resonated deeply with numerous fans, many of whom perceived the WNBA's handling of the situation as exhibiting clear double standards. His criticism held significant weight due to his typically measured approach to such issues and his long-standing support for women's basketball. The most damaging aspect of the controversy, however, lies in the WNBA's startling inaction. Despite the viral video and widespread calls for an investigation, the league's response has been deafening silence, a stark contrast to its swift action in other cases involving accusations of racism or misconduct. The league's prior investigation into unsubstantiated claims of racist chants by Indiana Fever fans, which took nearly 2 weeks to conclude, serves as a glaring example of inconsistent standards. This glaring discrepancy fuels accusations of biased enforcement, raising serious questions about fairness, impartiality, and the integrity of the league's leadership. The silence, coupled with the perceived bias, has only amplified the already intense scrutiny, leaving the WNBA vulnerable to accusations of hypocrisy and a lack of commitment to its own stated values. The league's silence spoke volumes. Its inaction had consequences. The situation was far from settled. The truth was still waiting to be revealed.
Brittney Griner was in a Russian prison. You would think that somebody who is now free, back in America on home soil, would not have too much to complain about. Especially something like this. Fans in every sport. She described the fan.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what sport you are. It doesn't matter what sport you pick. That's how fans act in every arena.
The WNBA's apparent double standard is further highlighted by its No Space for Hate campaign, launched just days before the Griner incident. This campaign, aimed at promoting anti-racism and inclusivity, now appears deeply ironic in light of the league's failure to address Griner's alleged comments. Critics argue that the league's inaction undermines the campaign's credibility, suggesting a selective application of its stated values. The perceived hypocrisy is intensified by the hypothetical contrast. If the roles were reversed and a white player had directed similar remarks at a black player, the response would likely have been immediate and severe. This perceived inconsistency fuels accusations of prioritizing image management over fair and equal treatment of its players. The league's silence isn't just an oversight. It's a symptom of a deeper problem, a systemic issue that questions the very foundation of the WNBA's commitment to its stated values. The contrast between the campaign's promise and the league's actions is jarring, exposing a hypocrisy that threatens to erode public trust. This wasn't just a public relations failure. It was a crisis of conscience.
Now, so the way that it works is if no racism happens in the stands, the WNBA does a full investigation. If there are hard fouls on Caitlin Clark every night and Brittney Griner is using slurs, like pretty openly, against Caitlin Clark, then it's racism to even pay attention to any of that. You see, everything has to end in racism. If you were to create a flowchart, what it would look like is something racist didn't happen, therefore investigate racism. Or something maybe racist happened but was against a white person. You mentioning this is also probably racism against black people. If you want to get people never to watch the WNBA, this is an amazing way to do it. Truly an amazing way to do it. Because if the league is going to be rooted in this sort of nastiness with regard to its only real star, good luck to them. And we'll see what the viewership is like in the WNBA. Truly, truly idiocy.
WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert has faced intense scrutiny for her handling of controversies surrounding Caitlin Clark, particularly her response to the Clark-Reese rivalry and the broader concerns about player treatment. Engelbert's previous comparison of the Clark-Reese dynamic to the Larry Bird-Magic Johnson rivalry drew significant criticism, with many viewing it as an inadequate response to the racist behavior from some fan bases. An interview on CNBC's Power Lunch, where she emphasized the positive aspects of the rivalry while avoiding direct condemnation of racist and abusive online behavior, further fueled the fire. This response drew strong rebukes from the Women's National Basketball Players Association, WNBPA, who accused her of failing to confront racism and harassment adequately. Critics argue that this pattern reflects a broader tendency to prioritize image over substance, to sideline crucial issues in favor of maintaining a positive public perception. Engelbert's leadership, or lack thereof, has become a central point of contention, casting a long shadow over the league's ability to navigate its current crisis. The weight of the criticism is significant. Her future as commissioner hangs in the balance. The situation was far from resolved. The pressure was immense.
Did you catch that? Brittney Griner calling Caitlin Clark trash and a effing white girl during a game? Now, imagine if the roles were reversed. If Caitlin had called Griner trash and followed it with effing black girl. The outrage will be instant. Headlines, public backlash, suspensions, and major sponsors pulling out. But because it was said to a white athlete, many are brushing it off or even laughing. That's a dangerous double standard.
The pattern of responses from Commissioner Engelbert raises serious questions about her leadership during a critical period for the WNBA. The hesitancy to strongly condemn misconduct, whether from players or fans, weakens the league's professed values of inclusivity and respect. Her silence regarding the Griner allegations has only amplified these concerns, with some calling for her resignation. This leadership deficit becomes especially problematic considering the WNBA's precarious position within the professional sports landscape. The league has long struggled with attendance, television ratings, and revenue generation. Caitlin Clark's emergence presented a rare opportunity for significant growth, marked by record-breaking crowds, soaring viewership, and booming merchandise sales. However, ongoing controversies and the perception of inadequate player protection threaten to derail this progress. Without stronger leadership and a clear commitment to accountability, the league risks squandering the hard-won gains of this pivotal era. The future of the WNBA hangs in the balance. The stakes couldn't be higher. The crisis was deep. The solutions were unclear.
I have never seen an organization more committed to self-imploding than the WNBA. A few weeks ago, I made this video highlighting how it appears Brittney Griner said bleep white girl after fouling out in a game against Indiana Fever, the team that Caitlin Clark plays for. Some people like Jamel Hill, former ESPN host, says that no, she didn't say bleep white girl. She says bleep whack call, to which she then went on to call me a grifter for even pointing this out, but besides the point. You can watch and make up your own mind as to what it appears Brittney Griner is saying. It's not certain what Griner says. There is one way to find out. Ask Brittney Griner. However, no one has done that except for Outkick. It's been over 2 weeks since Griner said this. Instead, the WNBA was investigating a bogus race hoax made up by Angel Reese about Indiana Fever fans.
The Griner-Clark controversy must be understood within the broader context of Caitlin Clark's transformative impact on women's basketball. Her college career at the University of Iowa drew unprecedented attention, filling arenas and attracting television audiences that rivaled those of men's sports. This momentum has continued in the WNBA, with her games consistently drawing record crowds and achieving significantly higher ratings than typical league contests. This success, however, has reportedly sparked resentment among some veteran players and fans. The stark contrast between the attendance and viewership of Clark's games and other WNBA events has become a source of contention, highlighting the tension surrounding her meteoric rise and the league's evolving landscape. The situation isn't about one player versus another. It's about the seismic shift in the league's dynamics and how the established order is reacting to the disruption. The disparity is undeniable. The consequences are far-reaching. The conflict was complex, its origins deeply rooted.
Look, I don't know for sure what was going on with what cameras caught Brittney Griner saying on the bench after she had fouled out against Caitlin Clark's Fever in Atlanta. I waited to comment on this until the WNBA was able to investigate it. I wanted them to issue a statement about it, but we have heard nothing from the WNBA, absolutely nothing. And Brittney Griner has not commented, which...
This disparity in attention and resources has fueled tension within the league, with some players viewing Clark's success as undeserved or overly hyped. This resentment stems partly from the perceived preferential treatment Clark receives from the media, fans, and possibly even referees. Veteran players express frustration that a rookie is garnering more attention, endorsements, and financial opportunities than those who have dedicated years to building the league. Stephen A. Smith's outspoken support for Clark and his criticism of the resentment directed towards her highlights the conflict between established players and the rising star. Smith emphasizes that Clark's popularity has generated tangible benefits for the entire league, including charter flights, increased television coverage, and higher salaries. His criticism resonates with fans who see attacks on Clark as detrimental to the league's long-term success. The conflict isn't simply about individual rivalries, it's a reflection of deeper systemic issues within the WNBA. The situation was far from simple. The underlying issues were complex and deeply entrenched. The tension was palpable, the future uncertain.
Just in the short amount of time that I watched, I remember back a while back before Caitlin was in this, of all these female professional players bitching about not getting paid what the men do, and then it was made clear that when you have the draw, when you can bring in the money, the revenue, the advertising dollars, then you'll get paid more money. Caitlin Clark has made that happen for the entire league, but these girls are doing everything in their power to destroy the golden goose that benefits them as a collective. And the referees, it looks like somebody has paid these high school referees to basically ignore any foul against.
The Griner-Clark controversy transcends a simple player dispute. It represents a microcosm of the broader challenges facing women's professional sports. The WNBA's response, or lack thereof, will have profound implications for its credibility and ability to capitalize on the unprecedented growth fueled by Clark's popularity. The league's apparent reluctance to confront allegations of racial bias, while simultaneously promoting anti-hate initiatives, raises serious concerns about its institutional integrity and consistency. Fans and sponsors increasingly demand accountability from organizations, especially regarding issues of inclusion and respect. Perceived double standards can erode trust, alienating existing supporters and deterring potential new audiences. Furthermore, the controversy underscores the ongoing tension between veteran and rookie players, highlighting the unequal distribution of attention and resources. The resentment towards Clark's success reveals systemic problems that extend beyond individual conflicts, reflecting deeper structural challenges within the league. To fully leverage its recent momentum, the WNBA must address these underlying tensions, fostering a more inclusive and unified environment that supports both established players and rising stars. The future of the league depends on it. The challenges are immense. The stakes are high. The path forward uncertain.
How do we know this? Attendance for the entire league was up nearly 50% last year. According to data from across the timeline, and Indiana led all teams with an average attendance of 17,035. That was up 319% from the year earlier. 319%. 319%. All other teams still grew by double-digit percentages. So let's not forget that. But they didn't grow by 319%. That was Caitlin Clark, which means she's largely responsible for the overall league attendance records. Merchandise sales were also up 450% for the WNBA, according to Fanatics, and Clark was the top-selling player and is fifth among athletes across all sports.
The controversy surrounding Brittney Griner's alleged remarks about Caitlin Clark has exposed deep fissures within the WNBA, highlighting critical issues of leadership, accountability, and the league's treatment of its star players. Stephen A. Smith's sharp criticism of Griner and the league's tepid response has resonated with fans who perceive double standards in how misconduct cases are handled. Commissioner Kathy Engelbert's handling of various controversies involving Clark has raised serious concerns about her leadership during this pivotal moment. The WNBA stands at a critical juncture, poised for extraordinary growth thanks to Clark's meteoric rise, yet internal conflicts and inconsistent governance threaten to derail this momentum. The league's response, or lack thereof, will profoundly impact its credibility, fan loyalty, and ability to capitalize on the unprecedented attention Clark has brought. As the situation unfolds, broader issues surrounding institutional accountability and gender dynamics in women's sports remain pressing concerns, shaping the future trajectory of the league. The future remains uncertain. The challenges are significant. The reckoning has begun. The outcome is yet to be seen.
Weed Outkick applied for media credentials to cover Brittney Griner's team, the Atlanta Dream's, game on June 6th, to which, shocker, they denied us. We've never had trouble getting media credentials with any professional sports league in the past, but wouldn't you know, now they suddenly have very limited space, which is total baloney. They just want to suppress any sort of uncomfortable inquiries from media.
This explosive situation has unveiled some uncomfortable truths about the WNBA and the pressures of success. We've explored the alleged slur, the league's response, or lack thereof, the underlying tensions between veteran and rookie players, and the broader implications for the future of women's basketball. This isn't just about a single incident. It's a reflection of deeper systemic issues that need addressing. So, what are your thoughts? Do you believe the WNBA handled the situation appropriately? What steps should the league take to move forward? Let's discuss this in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this in-depth analysis, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss future explorations into the world of sports and its controversies. Share your insights. Let's keep the conversation going.